Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the Robot Damashii Hyaku Shiki from Z Gundam. Now, the Hyaku Shiki is also one of my personal favorite mobile suits out there. It's not because of the gold, but it's more likely of the concept and the looks, and yeah. So, as mentioned, this is the Robot Damashii version, and this is actually pretty old at this point, but still, it's one of the despite being old, it's actually one of those really good Robot Damashis I've gotten recently, actually. I'm not going to mention about the price because I bought mine as a second hand, but the condition that I bought was that it was a unopened mint condition figure, so the previous owner did not really actually open the box. So yeah, it's pretty much brand new, but I got it as pretty much a discount. So currently we have the figure at the moment, and at the back there is the HGUC version, the model kit version, the Revive obviously. So I'll be doing a simple comparison, and this is actually one of those cases where there are a good amount of differences compared to when you compare it between the HGUC version and then the Robot Damashii version. This is actually one of those good examples, actually. Okay, so being a figure, we're going to do my usual way of reviewing. So let's start about components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Hyaku Shiki mobile suit itself. And then regarding hands, it currently has the fist on the left and right hand. And as you can see on the back, there's the two beam saber hilts. Now, as far as I know, you just need to slide them into the sockets. There's no other way, as far as I can tell. And then on the shoulders, those are not sticker decals. They just came as it is. So these are the Japanese kanji, meaning 100. So because this is the 100th mobile suit that was made, as far as I know. And then let's talk about other components. So first of all, if you open the box, the mobile suit itself and the backpack are separate pieces. So you can see the backpack is right over here. And then we have these ball jointed or / moving pipes, so you can connect to the back and then to the body more easily. And then the wings are connected to ball joints, so no problem at all. And then you can flap the wings. Now the only issue that I'm having regarding the backpack is that these wings kind of move a little bit too well. They move too smoothly. They're not really stiff or anything. Then again, I guess it's better than being too stiff and breaking it accidentally. So yeah, I guess they have their pros and cons. And you can see it's more of a clipping mechanism. So you can take it off and on more easily instead of breaking pegs. And here we have most of the components. So first of all, we get the clay bazooka, and we have the clip that you can store it into the backpack. Now, I believe the HGUC version, I could be wrong, it's been a long time, but the handle does not move on this one, and there's no ammo clip that you can detach. So the way how you're supposed to use this bazooka is that you have to put the back of the bazooka under the armpit. Because I believe the HGUC version, the handle moves, so you can actually put it on the shoulder like a normal bazooka. This one cannot do that. And number two, here we have the beam rifle. There's nothing too special, just a typical beam rifle. The ammo clip does not come out as far as I know. The red pipe is there, and there's no clipping mechanism on the backpack. And there's a nub mark over there for some reason. Yeah, and there's no hole on the end of the beam rifle, so there's no way you can attach a beam effect part. And here we have 3 more hands. So basically you get 4 set of hands in total. So number 1 is that other than the fists that are currently on the figure, we get multi-purpose hands, which are, for this figure, it is meant for the beam sabers. Typical. And then here we have another set of trigger fingers for the left and right, for the weapons, for the beam rifle and the clay bazooka. And then I'm really glad they also included these open hands for posing, because I believe like when it comes to posing, the Hyaku Shiki always has these open hands in various situations. So really glad they gave it left and right. Okay, and then so other than that, we get 2 beam saber effect parts, the yellow ones, nothing too special. And then this is something I was not expecting, is that we get another extra head, but this is not a spare part. You can see the eyes are actually red, because depending on how like it depends on like which version or the way how each series like depicts the Hyaku Shiki. Some series would depict the Hyaku Shiki having the black eyes, like having sunglasses. You can see currently there's pure black eyes, but sometimes like when we look at the Delta Plus or the Delta Gundam, they're technically the Hyaku Shiki variant, but also at the same time they also have these inside eyes behind the black visor. So yeah, so it's a really nice extra addition. So but as always, I always go for like the classic look. So I do like the classic black eye Hyaku Shiki, but I will show you guys that as an example. Alright, so we're done with the main components, so yeah, I'll be right back with the backpack attached with some extra to show you guys the articulation, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and now we're going to talk about the articulation, and if possible, I'll also go with the comparison between the HGUC version as well. So as usual, let's start with the head. Now, as I mentioned at the components section, the head, there is an extra separate head where you also can go with the red eyes if you want to do so. The head articulation is not that, it's I wouldn't say it's that great. It's really basic, so you can go down that much, up not so much, but at least the green camera on the head and the back section is actually colored properly. And then the antenna is not made out of rubber, so be careful. The head cannot go 360, but it can go only left and right, only a little bit, because you can see like the head section is colliding with the other areas on the body. So yeah. And then let's talk about the main body itself. There's a really nice range of movement. It can go forward that much. That's actually pretty well. And then it can also go back a lot for some reason. So that's very good. That's definitely a plus. And then regarding the backpack, now the backpack itself looks extremely big. I don't know why. It could be just the proportions or some sort of reason, but definitely looks a lot bigger than I would have imagined. And then, as I mentioned, on the component section, the backpack comes as a separate piece, so once you take it off, these red parts are going to move around, so you are able to attach to that hole you can see over there. And yeah, and then the wings are on ball joints, so you can pretty much position them anywhere you want to do so, and the wings do fold like that, and can go a little bit to the front if you want to do so. Now, for those who don't know, the Hyaku Shiki was supposed to be a Gundam called Delta Gundam, where it was supposed to be able to transform like a Wave Rider like the Zeta Gundam, but at the time they weren't able to do it because of technological issues, and it was a very uncommon project. So yeah, they had trouble. But later, I believe the Delta Gundam never actually existed in an actual mobile suit form, but it was in like some sort of simulation program, I believe, as an enemy. All right. So yeah, we have all these nice thrusters going on, and on the back skirt we have the beam sabers, as mentioned. The way how you have to attach is basically you have to put them, just slide them through, which is why this may be a bad issue for some people, is that the beam sabers will be a little bit wobbly once it's on the back skirt. Okay, now let's talk about the shoulders. Now, as I mentioned, the shoulders, the Japanese kanji on the shoulders, they mean 100, and they do not come as a sticker format. They are just pretty much drawn onto the shoulder. So I have done nothing to them. The shoulders, they move pretty well. They can go out that much. That's actually amazing. I haven't seen shoulder, movement that goes front this much. Actually, it's been a long time, but yeah, I am actually really amazed by this aspect. And then, as you can see, the main connection of the arm or shoulder is on a ball joint, so you can go 360 if you want to do so. And then we have a nice double jointed bend going on here. And then the arms can go to the side 90 degrees, and then also 360 twist on the arm itself is possible. Now, regarding the hands, these are typical Robot Damashii hands, where the ball joint is on the arm, not on the hand. Now it looks like the end wrist could move. Looks like it can move, but it doesn't really move. So yeah. All right, so you can see the body kind of does move a lot. Now it's not because it's loose, but it's just the movement is kind of smooth to the point where it may feel like it's loose. So let's look at the front skirt. They are separate pieces, so no need to worry about that. The side skirts also move a lot, and then back skirt itself also moves a lot. So that's actually a really good plus. And then the main leg connection is on a ball joint. It doesn't have a side swivel, but it does have this gimmick where you can move it up and down like this. Oops. Yep. Oh, and this part I almost forgot to show. It was attached here, but the figure itself does not have a does not come with a action-based connector. There's no hole on the section, so which is why you use this piece that's included into the figure, where you attach it right over here, so you can now use it on action bases. So yeah. And so there's no side swivel going on, but the leg can go to the side 90 degrees a lot, and then can go forward 90 degrees, backwards 90 degrees, which is a uncommon thing when you think about it, but yeah. And you have a nice double jointed bend. And you can see the legs has this empty section that doesn't have any armor, which is also pretty much another proof where it was supposed to transform him as well. So yeah, and then we have the ball jointed feet, and I don't think the feet has the toe bending gimmick for this one. So yeah. So yeah, articulation wise, other than the head, oh yeah, also the body can, I believe the body can go 360 if you want to do so. So yeah, other than the head articulation, everything is very good. The articulation is very superb, that's what I would call it. Now, since we're done with the articulation, let's bring out the HGUC version and see some comparisons. Like, every time, like, everybody is obviously, like, going to compare with something, and I think for Robot Damashii, I think the perfect, you know, the comparing item would be the HGUC, because it's more of the common products where everybody can get easily now. Because Robot Damashii, they don't reprint or reissue the old ones, and sometimes they are expensive, so some people don't get them. But yeah, so you can see the HGUC version seems a lot taller than the Robot Damashii version, and you can see obviously the color is that's pretty much a given thing. So the Robot Damashii definitely has a more metallic gold color, and then while the HGUC version is just a cheesy yellow. Let's be honest with that. And you can see, while if you even look at the body, you can see the waist section is much more fatter for the HGUC version. But I think that's just more of a style thing, because like obviously I think the Robot Damashii version, they try to go with more of the anime accurate look. So which is why I would be amazed if they actually did make a very anime of the Hyaku Shiki. So yeah. There are some differences, like even the proportion seems a lot different when you look at it from side to side. So yeah, it's really up to you to choose whichever version you like at this point. Alright, so we're done with that, the articulation and comparison, so I'll be right back with the first set of equipment. Okay, I'm back with the first set of equipment. Currently what I have is, on the right hand is the trigger finger for the beam rifle, and on the left hand I have the open hand for the posing. And currently, since it's on an action base, which means that I have the action base connector that's attached to the on the waist section, on the crotch area, or the bottom of the crotch area. And on the backpack, I have stored the clay bazooka on it. As I mentioned, the beam rifle does not come with the clipping equipment, so you cannot attach it to the backpack. So yeah, and before I go on a little bit more detail, I forgot to mention is that while the Beam Saber storage system is more of a sliding gimmick, as you can see on the Robot Damashii version, the HGUC version is more of a clipping gimmick. So you can see it's actually clipped on to the back skirt, as you can see on the side. You can see they're clipped on, so that's actually another small difference, and the backpack is much more smaller compared to the Robot Damashii version. So yeah, as I mentioned, like this figure comes with pretty much everything you need for the Hyaku Shiki minus the Mega Bazooka launcher. The Mega Bazooka launcher, there is I believe it was sold separately as Premium Bandai or not, but it should be still easier to get, but it's just that the price is not going to be too, appropriate for some people. Alright, so yeah. For those who are curious, like I'm also regarding the head, I'm using the red eye head, if you're wondering. So let me get it off the stand to give you guys a more closer look. So you can see the red eye that's currently on the head at the moment. Let me just lower the camera a little bit. So you can see that there's the red eye on, and then the previous version I used was the one with the black eye. So it does really give out a different vibe, but I don't know, every time I use the red eye, I kind of get that feeling. It looks like it turns into be more of a menacing looking mobile suit, where it's more of an enemy mobile suit than a ally. And then the way how the clipping mechanism works on the backpack is that you can see there's actually a small, there's actually like a small gap here, right over here next to the, on the side of the on the backpack. So this is where you actually clip on to the, this is where you clip on. So there's another one on the other side, so you can put the clay bazooka on the other side if you want to do so. Alright, so yeah, we're done with the first set of equipment, so I'll be right back with the second set of equipment. Okay, I'm back with the second set of equipment, and this will be probably the last section of the video. So currently on the right hand I have the clay bazooka with the trigger finger hand, and then on the left hand I have the multi-purpose hand, which is holding the beam saber. And I'm back with the black eye head, and that's pretty much it. So since I'm using one beam saber, there's going to be only one beam saber on the back waist on the storage section. And as mentioned on the front of the video, regarding the clay bazooka, Now, if you don't want to have that claw hook on the outside, you can actually fold it in, so you don't need. It's not a parts forming gimmick. You can actually just it just comes out, and if you don't want that, you can just store it in like that. So there's no big issue. And once again, black eyes. It holds the beam saber very firmly, so no need to worry about anything falling down. So yeah. As I mentioned, like the wings will be moving a lot because they're not loose, but they just move a little bit too smoothly. So yeah, and then since the beam sabers are not clipped on, they're going to be moving up and down a lot when you're like touching the figure. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the figure. So all I can say is that despite being a old series Robot Damashii figure, this is actually one of those really good figures that I would definitely recommend if you really like the mold suit. Compared to when you compare it with the HGUC version, it's definitely a little bit shorter, not by a lot, but a little bit shorter because main reason being short is that I think it's like the body size is a little bit smaller than the HGUC version, and some proportion reasons as well. So yeah, other than the Mega Bazooka launcher, it comes with everything that you need to do with for the Hyaku Shiki. So if you're interested, definitely get this figure. It's one of those really, the articulation is superb. Now the joints, it's going to be dependent on how your condition is, but yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Robot Damashii Hyaku Shiki from Z Gundam. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!